Welcome to the most exciting and interactive 30 minutes of your day here on the Joy News channel, on DSTV channel 41 and Go TV channel 144, on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, we're Joy News on TV. This is JoyNews Interactive and I am Mapito CBD. Now, World Mental Health Day, which was celebrated yesterday, is a day for global mental health education, awareness and advocacy against social stigma. It was first celebrated in 1992 at the initiative of the World Federation for Mental Health, which is a global mental health organization with members and contacts in more than 150 countries. This year's theme is mental health promotion and suicide prevention. Now, in a conversation with Mama V on the AM show, this is what Peter Yaro, who's the executive director of the Basic Needs Ghana, and Ashali for Cecilia, a person who has lived with a mental condition, had to say.
When I look at people, let me say, those on the streets, I feel very sad. I wish they could have the family that I have, because it has made a great difference. My husband, for instance, he makes sure that my medications are always intact so that I don't run out of medications. So it has made a very big difference. So as Mr. Peter is saying, if other families can also support their members in that way, it would have helped a long way. And probably if the conditions are being noted earlier, at the early stage,
because yours was not, you really didn't know, understand what was going on.
Exactly. So it takes, so I would advise that if you have somebody close to you, make sure you monitor their mood swings and their mood changes. If you think, no, this person is not going as a normal way they are going, try talking to them. Ask twice. Sometimes it takes you asking twice. You ask the first one, they might probably say, I'm fine, but in there, they are not. So ask twice and then listen to them. It helps a lot.
So how are you managing yourself today?
So with the help of medication that I'm under, I'm able to do a petty business, that is do soap and detergent selling, which basically supported me in that one. So I do that, and then probably when there are other programs concerning mental health, they do invite me.
So you're an advocate?
Advocate, exactly.
And because you've been there, you are able to speak to the issues and talk to people who are also suffering with mental health.
Exactly.
Peter, how does it, Cecilia talked about a bit of the statistics, but how does it look in our country, considering we're not good with data?
We are not good with data, but the little that we have shows, once we're talking about suicide, and the Mental Health Authority have indicated up to 1,500 people committed suicide within the last 2 years. And that's probably 6 times the number, because this is what came to their attention. We ourselves in our community, through people talking, and we taking an interest in issues of suicide, recorded 58 people who committed suicide in 2018 through various means, hanging by the rope or whatever, consumption of chemicals, poisonous chemicals, pesticides particularly, and a few using firearms or doing other things such as running into bodies of water and the rest. And it all shows it was precipitated by a mental condition. Normally, you would not want to harm yourself. So when you reach a point of saying, it's not worth taking my life, then you are not in the right frame of mind and need support. That's why the World Mental Health Day is focusing on the 40 seconds of action. Talk to someone, and if you feel moody or feel a sense of loss or committing a certain act, you should try to talk to someone, because that is how you can come out of this suicidal ideation or feeling of harming yourself.
From one international day to another. Since 2012, 11 October has been marked as the International Day of the Girl. Now, the day aims to highlight and address the needs and challenges the girl face while promoting girls' empowerment and the fulfillment of their human rights. Now, this year's theme is Girl Force, Unscripted and Unstoppable. Nearly 25 years ago, some 30,000 women and men from nearly 200 countries arrived in Beijing, China for the 4th World Conference on Women, determined to recognize the rights of women and girls as human rights. The conference culminated in the adoption of the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action, the most comprehensive policy agenda for the empowerment of women. In the years following, women pressed this agenda forward, leading global movements on issues ranging from sexual and reproductive health rights to equal pay. Now, more girls today are attending and completing school. Fewer are getting married at a young age or becoming mothers while they're still children, and more are gaining the skills they need to excel in the future world of today. Today, these movements have been expanded and they are being organized by and for adolescent girls, and tackling issues like child marriage, education, inequality, gender-based violence, climate change, self-esteem, and many more. Let's watch this before we take some of your comments. We apologize for that you couldn't see the text. We'll try to get it to you before the end of the show, and then we'll play it again. But International Day of the Girl has been trending on Twitter. Let's see what you had to say. This one is from @QueenB, who says, every girl child deserves love, care, education, and empowerment. # International Day of the Girl. @Tina_Reza says, when I add my voice, I make her stronger. This is why I # stand with her on International Day of the Girl. Diane_Core says, empower her, celebrate her today, tomorrow, and for years to come. # International Day of the Girl. Twaweza says, # Day of the Girl. No country can ever truly flourish if it stifles the potential of its women and deprives itself of the contribution of half of its citizens. And that's Michelle Obama. Okay, so those are some of your tweets on Day of the Girl Child. On that note, I'm going to take a quick breather. We'll be back with some Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And if you didn't know who won that Nobel Peace Prize for 2019, you want to find out when we come back. You're welcome back from that breather. You're still watching JoyNews Interactive with myself, Mapito CBD. You know how to continue the conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram with JoyNews on TV. As you know, the whole of October, we're creating awareness for Breast Cancer Month. And one survivor of breast cancer is Stephanie Benson. She's very vocal about her experience. She's very vocal about her journey. And she's been talking to Mama V on the Cosmopolitan Mix.
don't be scared. So I mean, yes, I do exaggerate, guys, and you know, the reason is why I am like that because of cancer. I also want you guys to understand that the body is just a body.
Yeah,
you know?
but you know, I guess maybe you're where you are because of where you have come from. You lost your mom.
Yes.
You lost your grandmother as well.
I lost my aunt too, 2 aunts. The one of them actually was stomach cancer. So, but the rest was all breast cancer. My mother died at 48, and actually it's 48.
48.
48, and 48 is when I was diagnosed. So, so I thought, oh my God, this is a cycle, you know. So I went to have the gene test, and it came back under 20%. So I'm thinking, well, it's not in the gene, so why is it such a cycle in the family? And obviously it means that my children are safe after the gene test, and my sisters. But it's just, you can't take those kind of chances. So yes, my mother died. She had a mastectomy on one breast, and when it came back again on the other breast, and she was supposed to have a mastectomy, she chose not to. And came back to
Why
Ghana.
not?
I mean, I was 20 something years old, and I had 3 children at the time, and I was working, you know, and she didn't even tell us she had cancer until it came back and they said she was dying. So now you can understand, I can't tell you how angry I was at my mother, because I felt she cheated us of her life. You know, because I wanted her around. At 26, you want your mother. I've just had 3 young children. My youngest was 18, 18 months.
18 months.
Who was a spitting image of my mother. So, you know, and it was a he. I mean, the big dimples, the round face, is everything. My mother loved him to death. And I would look, you know, so when she was ill and we found out she was dying, but even the doctors didn't want to tell us she was dying. And I thought that was so outrageous. And I remember creating, you know, I've got a big temper. I remember creating a fuss in the hospital, and I'm thinking, are you guys crazy? I mean, it's like, really, we're there. She's dying. That's when I knew my mom was dying, in the hospital. So I couldn't do as much as I wanted for her. You know, I would spoil her and take her to a dermatologist, and we'll just, you know, when she came, we'll travel. But she never told me she was ill. So, you know, she used to call me 8 times a day.
Why do you think she kept it away from you? Why she probably thought you wouldn't be able to take it?
I think it's a whole Ghanaian mentality. If you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. And I think it's such a shame, because I love my mother, and my mother and I were like this. My mother was one of those vibrant people who would walk in a room and I mean, she didn't demand it. It's just she commanded it. It was, you know, she was just so beautiful, and none of us are patch on her. So I think it was a lot to do with vanity too. And my father died when I was 14. So, and she had somebody she was with, and I think maybe he didn't make her feel that special anymore, because she was very beautiful. So sometimes that can have an effect on women. And I really didn't want that to happen to me.
Yeah.
Because I think I've always told myself that if a man doesn't want you, then he's not worth trying. Why do you have to try to keep a man? If the reason why he wants to be with you is because you have both breasts, then let him leave. I mean, who is worth it?
It's interesting you bring in this angle about a man. I'm wondering, who did you first tell when you realized you had breast cancer?
My husband. He was sitting right next to me.
Oh.
Here's, you know, because I went to have a smear test initially, and they said there was some irregularity, something, oh my God, what's happening? And, you know, and they said, oh, we just have to do some more tests, and they did, and they came back and said I had 14 fibroids, and my stomach was flat. I've never really had a stomach, you know, I mean, I work out a lot, so I've never supported, you know, and because of my job and standing on stage all the time, I'm always, you know, I burn fat really, really quickly. So, I mean, I thought, where's the 14 fibroids hiding? And then I think they did a scan and realized that there was cancer. So they did a biopsy. I mean, I just said, listen, take the whole thing out. I've had 5 children. I don't need my womb. So I had a total hysterectomy.
Stephanie Benson there on her experience and her journey through breast cancer. Now, let's talk about the 2019 Nobel Peace Prize that's been awarded to the Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who made peace last year with a bitter foe. Now, he was awarded the prize for his efforts to achieve peace and international cooperation. He was named as the winner of the 100th Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo, where he will receive the award in December.
The Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided to award the Nobel Peace Prize for 2019 to Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali for his efforts to achieve peace and international cooperation, and in particular for his decisive initiative to resolve the border conflict with neighboring Eritrea. The prize is also meant to recognize the stakeholders working for peace and reconciliation in Ethiopia and in the East and Northeast African regions. When Abiy Ahmed became Prime Minister in April 2018, he made it clear that he wished to resume peace talks with Eritrea. In close cooperation with Isaias Afwerki, the president of Eritrea, Abiy Ahmed quickly worked out the principles for a peace agreement to end the long no peace, no war stalemate between the two countries. These principles are set out in the declarations that Prime Minister Abiy and President Afwerki signed in Asmara and Jeddah in July and September. An important premise for the breakthrough was Abiy Ahmed's unconditional willingness to accept the arbitration ruling of an international boundary commission in 2002.
The Nobel Peace Prize Awards have been trending on Twitter. You can go to various social media pages and check that out. Now it's time for us to do our most watched video of the week. And with 108,000 views, 943 comments, and 614 shares is Professor Jampo's interview with MFA Nancy Dradosi, who was denying the allegations leveled against him after the BBC documentary 6 for Grades.
If you look at the BBC's own title, they said we're investigating alleged so-called sex for grade. And I'm sure you've seen the video, and you should answer whether it has to do with sex for grade or whatever. It has got nothing to do with a relationship between a lecturer and a student. It has everything to do with a lecturer and a friend. Somebody who was sent to come and trap. In the process of her entrapment, she became a friend, and we had our conversation as friends. And some of the conversations were very informal, but we are all mindful of the fact that it had got nothing to do with my professional relationship with a student and all that. And so if you have looked at the video, it has got nothing to do with somebody having sex and changing. How do you talk about sex for grade between a lecturer and somebody who is not his student? And so it is misleading, but it seems to me that I explained the circumstances to them, and it seems to me that there are people behind the scenes trying to pull the strings just to be able to embarrass me and all that. Because if you speak to the BBC, they tend to understand your point of view. I've written extensively. I'm going to give you copies of these letters. This is my first letter I wrote to them. It's an 11-pager. The second letter, it's here, and then the third letter explaining. And I made a lot of points, raised a lot of issues with what we were seeking to do. But some way, somehow, they decided not to factor anything that I have said in this letter into their own reportage. And the people that they were supposed to speak to, we had conversations here with my assistants, in the office. They don't want to speak to them. And it's like they are bent on pushing a certain angle just to be able to embarrass me. I can understand, because this is not the first time incident like this has happened. You come from Joy. Google accuser apologizes to Prof. Jampo. It was your outlet that carried that story, where somebody made that allegation. When I was going to go to court, then the person came to apologize. I've received several text messages and threatening ones telling me, we're going to bring you down, we're going to kill you, because you are loudmouth. The worst that can happen to me is for them to kill me. But me too, I don't fear to die. So this one, it is just a stone that has hit the thigh of an elephant. I don't care. Once I haven't done what they said I have done, my conscience are clean. I will continue to do what I know how to do best. I will treat my students with love and respect. I will say my mind on all national issues at all times. Damn the consequences, and let people like the current crop of BBC reporters do the kinds of things that they want to do. I don't care about them. I care about my nation, Ghana. I will continue to live a life of integrity.
And that's our most watched video of the week, Professor Jampo. And as we know, hashtag sex for grade, sexual harassment, those conversations have been happening on social media. Victims are speaking out, survivors are speaking out, and it's a very big conversation going on social media. You have to check it out. You should check it out. But we'll also join you on TV, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Visit our social media handles and our pages. It is International Day of the Girl Child, and I leave you with this video. I'm Mapito CBD. Thank you so much for your company. Have yourselves a blessed weekend. I'll see you at 12:45 for Showbiz.